Hun is at work, so I have a limited amount of time to go ahead and do something I'm going to ask for forgiveness for instead of permission. We're going to go ahead and get the brackets set up here. More specifically, we're going to go ahead and get the brackets marked for up here. Now I want to put the shelf level, but I also need to give it some height, the correct height. Well, also understand we're in the middle of harvest season, so we got pears out here, we've got jams, jellies, all kinds of stuff going on. Running out of space quick. We really need this shelf. We know the board is 1 inch in thickness. Approximately, I think it's about a 1/16 shy of 1 inch board. And this bracket is, yeah, we'll give it 5/8. So 1 5/8 plus we're looking at 9 inches approximately for the jar. Actually, 9.5. So if we went 12 inches down from the ceiling, that should give us our, hopefully this will work. So 12 inches would be there. I'm going to go a little bit less than that. So we're going to go 12 inches from the trim. And we're just going to put a mark. Then we're going to put this away before I break it. Now with that comes the part I'm asking for forgiveness for. Let's see. Now this is going to be difficult at best. Guess we're going to need these all the way down. Oh, and there's chainsaw oil on them too. Right. Let's see how close we are right here. Might be too much of a tilt. Yeah, I think I'm too much of a tilt. Let's come down a little. Alright, hopefully you can see that line. Right there is my mark, and my laser, even though it's hard to see with the frame rate, is within a 1/16 of an inch of that mark. Apologize for the lighting. I have the lighting down so that I can see this red mark a little easier. Now I picked up a stud finder, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to start with, what's that? That is 1 inch. So if I'm not mistaken, right about there. Yeah, all the sensors are confused, but we're going to go in about 2 inches right there. That will be 1. Now, right there is another, right in the middle, so close enough. We're going to go right there, right there. Right there, there. There. All we did there was mark the wall where the studs are in a parallel line. So if you look at the back of this, it has a keyway, so you can slip this bracket on and then lock it in. Well, the bottom is just a straight screw. Unfortunately, the screws that came with this bracket are a little short for what we're going to do. So the stock screws use these little plastic pieces. You're supposed to drill the drywall, stick them in there, and then use these 1-inch screws to hold the bracket on. Kind of like that. Well, if you account for 1/2-inch drywall without any backing on it, you've got maybe a 1/2 inch or 3/8 of this screw actually grabbing the drywall, and supporting 80 pounds on 2 of these brackets over the distance, I don't trust drywall. That's why we found the studs, and unfortunately I couldn't find any of these, come on focus, any of these round-headed screws. So I got some, focus, these are actually black deck screws. The only unfortunate part is, if you look at the heads, come on focus, there we go. This one's going to protrude out a little bit, but it should grab the stud a lot better. With that, you know what I forgot? Impact driver. That works. I can hide the stuff I wasn't supposed to have in the house. So, hun, please forgive me. I put something really dirty on the table so that we could get this hung up. Sorry. Now, that right there is where the previous bracket we had the plant hung up at. And I'm hoping this one will hit a stud. Probably, let's see if we can hit a stud without hitting the electrical. Now let's see how we did. I'm going to have to come out a little bit with that. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and find plumb, and then we're going to mark the center of our hole. Mary Jane. Not yours. That's Blue's food. I think I got enough screws. Now, using those dimples we made, that's a good sign. They all ratcheted going in. Now one more tool I need to grab and we should be done with the bracketry. Now because these brackets have this piece in the way, I've got this little ratchet wrench. It's a Bosch wrench I got a long time ago. We're going to use this to go ahead and tighten up the top screws. And we didn't do this until we had the bottom ones in so that I'm not moving these brackets all around. So the bottom ones are holding it in, the top ones are cinching it down so that it can't move because, well, this can slide up and down here. As you remember previously, did I tighten that one down? While I'm doing this, if I didn't explain it well, these brackets are supposed to support 80 pounds over 18 inches. Which is important because we're going to be putting our canned goods up here. There are bigger ones, but I didn't like the brackets that were rated for like 1,000 pounds. And I think by screwing them into the studs, should make a heck of a difference too. So we're not relying on drywall to hold them in there. With that, we got the brackets all hung. Need to bring the board in and find out how plumb our wall is, or true as far as flatness, or how flat I actually made the board itself. I have a feeling we're going to have to do some adjustments to get this to fit the way I want.
Back. You helping, Papa?
What am I hitting?
That's the door.
Well, I'm trying not to hit anything because I don't want to ruin the finish yet.
Oh, you about to hit the doorpost. What do you need me to do?
That's what I needed.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
It's hot out there.
Yep.
Honey, they fed our daughter Capri. She had a Capri Sun.
Okay.
That's way too much sugar.
Yeah.
Should I reply back and say, oh, she's never had Capri Sun before?
I know, right? Alright, I'm a hair long. And she's got a slight bow to her. Actually, there we go. So I need to take off just a little bit here. Either my bracket is way off, or this board has a good warp at the end. It's not bad though. So let's slide it even. So obviously I'm not a professional. I cut this a little bit long, and I probably should have waited to do the finish on it until after we had done all the fitting. So now what I need to do is take a little bit off this edge, a little bit off that edge, and cut this end down. Once we're done that, we're going to take it back in, set it back up there, see the fitment. If the fitment's good, I need to mark it for all the screw holes that I got to put in there. Because we're going to pre-drill this. We're not just going to screw the screws in and run the risk of cracking the wood. But I guess we got to start with doing some cutting. So I'm not sure if my wall bows in or if my board bows out, but we do have to take off a little bit of this edge. trying to think what the best way to do that would be. I think I'm just going to try freestyling it with the skill saw. Take this back inside and see if that helped. Alright, there's still a little bit of gap right there, but it's significantly better than it was. And I think we're going to go ahead. What do you think, hon? Want to go with it? Or you want me to continue working it a little bit more?
No. Redneck perfect.
You heard the boss. Oh, heard the boss and you heard the second boss. Redneck perfect. You said Eve.
Redneck perfect.
Perfect? Redneck perfect? Of course I put your camera on you and you stop talking. Alright. Back to the garage we go. Alright, I apologize for the fogginess. It should go away pretty quickly. Yesterday after chores, I went ahead and finished up the Danish oil on this. So we're good to go on that now. Before I go back into the house, what I want to do is I want to pre-drill all my holes. Now I'm pre-drilling my holes so this wood doesn't crack as bad or potentially strip out when I do this. I also picked up some different screws and holy cow is that foggy. Hey, you can see me here in the middle. Should I wait until this? No, I don't have that much battery left. Anyhow. So I picked up some 5/8 inch screws and I just taped this off. Where are we at? Come on, focus. There we go. So I just taped this drill bit off and I'm going to go through and punch all these screws in real quick. Holes for the screws.
You clap. Stand up. Yay!
At this point, we're going to put a screw in every 3 because this board has been out in the garage since it's been cut. It's going to need about a couple days, 3 or 4, to acclimate in here. So we'll be back to put in the rest of the screws at a later time. But let's go ahead and get this thing so it's at least staying up there. Alright, as I said, I only put a couple screws in it for now, and that's just to hold it down while the wood acclimates to the house. It's going to move a little bit here and there. It's going to maybe shrink, maybe expand, don't know. But after a couple days, I'm going to be back and we'll put the last of the screws in there, and then I think we'll be ready to load it up. What do you think, hon?
Yep.